doing hindsight, going back and looking. So when I do use hindsight, I try to be as realistic as possible. So I put together a little slide for you. I don't know if you noticed or not. I'm pretty sure you do notice. The audience probably don't know, but at one point in my life, I did want to be a lawyer. So whenever I want to bring something to the table, I want to bring evidence. I want to bring cold, hard facts to the case. You know what I mean? So
okay, here we go.
I got a little what if for Detroit.
Okay.
So my question is, what if the Detroit Lions did not draft Jahmyr Gibbs?
Here we go.
And for people like you and everybody else who's saying that, this next slide is for y'all. I got a disclaimer for everybody. I want everybody to focus in on my man right here. Everybody just take it easy. This is just a fun and games moment. This is me going in my head thinking about some stuff that I talked about before.
Okay. Let us know why you hate Jahmyr Gibbs.
So number 1 point is I do not hate Jahmyr Gibbs. Let the record show. I do not hate Jahmyr Gibbs. In fact, if we go to bullet point number 2, I like Jahmyr Gibbs. Great guy. I like this. I like Montgomery. Did an interview. He's embracing the Sonic and Knuckles nickname. It's fun. I like it all, man. And they're doing a great job. And which brings me to bullet point number 3. I hope Jahmyr Gibbs has a phenomenal career. But all that being said, let's take a walk down woulda, coulda, shoulda been lane.
Everything everybody says right before they put somebody down. Let's go.
I'm not putting him down. Look at these numbers, man. Look at these numbers. This is the 12th overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft.
Okay.
He's had 236 carries. He's rushed for 1,200 yards in the time of being in Detroit. So that's a year and 4 games. 5 yards a carry, 13 touchdowns. He's got 63 catches, almost 400 yards catches, 2 touchdown catches. Kids have been great. He's and it brings me to my last one. Kid's only fumbled the ball twice, and he's lost 1 fumble. Now I'm not sure if this is a compilation of his season career or his whole career, because I think we all remember one specific fumble that he lost in the postseason.
I think both of them fumbles are from last year. I think it was one in the Vikings game and one in the San Francisco game.
Okay, so yeah, that's my point. He only lost 1 fumble, and that would have been the 49ers NFC Championship game. If y'all remember, the Lions was up big. Momentum started to shift. They made their way back in the game, and they brought it to a 7-point game in the third quarter. And I just needed points, man. I didn't need the touchdown. I didn't need a field goal. But once they got the ball back, they gave it to Gibbs. And I think on the first drive, that dude fumbled the ball. On the first possession, he fumbled the ball, gave it back to Seattle, and Seattle went right downfield, tied the game up. So, if you took Gibbs out of last year, I don't know, man. I feel like that's a debatable thing. Like, as good as Jahmyr Gibbs was, could we have gotten somebody else in there? We had David Montgomery, but he got hurt. So, that time that David Montgomery was out, could those have been losses without Gibbs? I don't know, man. That's debatable. Like, a part of me kind of feels like getting 2 above average running backs is kind of a luxury position to be in. Thoughts on that?
No, I think if you take Jahmyr Gibbs out of that, we still be with Swift. I don't think that we would have won those games. I think Swift would have been in the game. He wouldn't want to play for us. He might have made a spark play every now and then, but I don't think we win those games without Jahmyr. Jahmyr is he fits in our system. He wants to be here. He actually wants to be here. Some of those games, he put us on his back. You know what I'm saying? With them long runs. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, no, I don't think we win those games without. I don't think we make it to NFC Championship without Jahmyr.
if you handcuff me and say you gotta take DeAndre Swift, then I might be more inclined to agree with you. But I think you could have found running backs scattered all over the league. There was a running back taken by, I think he's their main guy right now for Cincinnati. I looked, and he was taken by Cincinnati, Chase Brown. His numbers aren't great, but he was behind Joe Mixon last year. So now he's getting a start this year. So, I mean, I feel like you could have found another running back to complement David Montgomery and let David Montgomery be your lead guy.
You lost me when you said his numbers aren't great. You got Jahmyr Gibbs' numbers on the screen, and the first thing you said about this guy's his numbers aren't great.
But he's behind the greatest running back of all time, according to Bruce Diggy, Joe Mixon. Everybody don't got Ben Johnson. Everybody not implementing running backs in like Ben Johnson doing, and not to mention that kid was like taken in like the 4th or 5th round. So, and now he's a starter. So, I mean, but anyway, that being said, I'm not just saying we should have not drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. No. I've been on the Christian Gonzalez hype train since the first time I started doing research on who the Lions were going to take in that draft. Christian Gonzalez, the only knock I got against Christian Gonzalez is I might not have drafted him either if I would have seen what he was wearing on draft night. That outfit was too much for me. I would have threw a flag on him leaving the house. But hey, other than that, man, the kid is I don't want to use the E word, but the kid is having a great start to a season. He only played a couple games last year, and then he ended the year with He ended the year with a season-ending injury. I was real sad about it. I was like, oh, maybe this kid is not going to be as good as I thought he was going to be. But nope, he comes back this year, and he's just kind of picking up where he left off at. If we just look at his career numbers, which is essentially the same as his career. Let me see. Does he got his games played? Like I said, he missed all of last year, and he's playing this year. So in that time, he's got 40 tackles. He's got 1 sack. He's got 2 interceptions, and he's got 6 pass deflections, which is pretty good. If you fast forward, what we got next? If you were to have taken Christian Gonzalez going forward, there would have been no need for a cornerback. Now you could have still took a cornerback, but as desperate as we were going into the 2024 draft, we needed corners. But if you had Christian Gonzalez already on your roster, you could have kind of changed and did something different. You could have still moved back like you did, and then there would have been other people you could have took. Now, before I go on, we'll go back to Christian Gonzalez. Terion Arnold doesn't have any interceptions, and Terion Arnold is the second in the league for drawing the most penalties. So I'm not saying Terion's going to be bad, but at the same time, this kid, Pro Football Focus loves this kid, and on a terrible New England Patriots team, he is the only bright spot.
I thought Pro Football Focus had him ranked like last in the rookie in the new cornerbacks.
No, that's Terion.
Oh, they got him ranked last.
Yeah.
So, are you saying that you are not happy with Terion?
I'm saying if somebody said, Marcus, you could have Terion Arnold or you could have Christian Gonzalez, I would take Christian Gonzalez. Are you saying you would take Terion Arnold?
For Gibbs, Terion Arnold, Rakestraw, and Sam Laporta and Jack Campbell, yeah.
Now, that wasn't the question. but in my defense,
I'm just saying if you take go ahead.
In my defense, the only person you're losing is Jahmyr Gibbs and Terion Arnold. You can still get Rakestraw, and you can still get Laporta, and you can still get Jack Campbell, if I'm not mistaken. Because you're just using Gibbs's pick on Christian Gonzalez, and you're using and I'll tell you what you do with Terion Arnold's pick up next.
Wait. Let me go back because I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But Christian Gonzalez was picked when?
After Jahmyr Gibbs, but before Jack Campbell.
So they moved up to get Jahmyr.
So we could have took Bijan Robinson, but instead we traded that pick, and then by trading that pick, we were able to move back, and then I think we still had the pick that we used on Campbell in the first round.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. So if we were to have taken Christian Gonzalez, we wouldn't need a corner. We could have still traded back in the 2024 draft. And instead of taking Terion Arnold, now I'm not going to go back and look and be like, oh, this player was great, we should have took this guy, blah, 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 blah. No. I'm going to go back to the guy that I really, really wanted. Now, the only thing I will say is that I wanted him in the second round, but I will use hindsight on this. Y'all can kill me if you want to. But using hindsight, this draft was terrible. And this guy was definitely, if he would have took him in the first round, nobody would have said anything. Brad Holmes has done that before. He's taken people. He took Giovanni Manu at, in the third or fourth round when people was like, this guy was probably going to be undrafted. So same Sione Vaki. He's got no problem of reaching on guys. And this guy right here, man, this kid, Braden Fiske, if you go back and look at our videos, second round prospects, I did a whole thing on this guy. He was my number one guy that I wanted in the second round. And if we look at his career so far, he's played every game this year. Guy's got 17 tackles, got 1 sack. He's forced a fumble. He's got 2 fumble recoveries. He's been great. And then if you want a point of reference, DJ Reader and Aaliyah McNeil, that's what we got at D tackle. Mind you could move Braden Fiske around that line as well. But we went out and we signed DJ Reader, and we've always had Aaliyah McNeil. Those two together have combined for 7 tackles and 1.5 sack. Braden Fiske got 17 tackles and 1 sack. So that's production right there. I'm all for production. That's what I would do.
Yeah, man, but he's on the worst. He's on the worst defense. The Rams got like one of the worst defenses in the league. So he has more opportunity. Our linebackers make more tackles than our D linemen. Our D linemen are more. Our D linemen make more. So even with.
Go ahead.
Think about it. Even with him making 17 tackles, you're saying you would rather have him on our defensive line, even though our defensive line is like number 2 in the league against the run stop.
Well, our team is number 1 or 2 in the league against the run stop. Alex Anzalone, our D line basically holds it up. Anzalone is a good cleanup guy. Clearly, like, Aaliyah McNeil and DJ Reader aren't the ones that are making these tackles because they only got 7 tackles. So they're not getting to the quarterback. That's Hutchinson's job. So, like, they're just, like, you telling me that Braden Fiske couldn't just, like, be a body that was, like, holding up that line? Like, if you saying he got 17 tackles and he plays safety, I could go with that argument. Like, or he plays cornerback. Okay, he's getting burnt, or the defense is getting burnt, and he's the last line of defense. So their defense is just so bad that he's always the last line of defense. So he's got no choice but to have 17 tackles. But you get 17 tackles from the defensive tackle spot, from the nose tackle, like no, you're creating havoc. You're breaking up plays. You're beating your guy. You are making yourself a threat on that field. Like, and I thought that's what we were supposed to be getting from DJ Reader. I haven't really seen a whole lot from DJ Reader yet. I'm still kind of waiting.
So I mean, so what do you gain? What do you gain from what do you gain from having Fisk on the line? Like I said, we're number two. We're number two in run stops. So like you have him on the line, and what is this, that essentially? What essentially do we gain from that? Like, do we get? Are we?
Another the one
Are
thing
we?
the one thing I've been trying to get for the past 2-3 years, which is another person on that line that you got to account for. You know, Hutch is we always you, me, everybody, we want Hutch to get home. We want Hutch to finish. But at the same time, we all know that all that quarterback has to do is just roll out opposite side, or all you gotta do is stack everybody to Hutch's side, and the quarterback is gonna get the ball out before Hutch get there. Now you
Nah,
put another game record on that line that they can't just ignore this guy. This guy's a game record over here too.
You still got to account for DJ Reader. I mean, let's not put it in like you don't have to account for DJ Reader, man. DJ Reader and Aleem. I mean, besides that, Ian and teams throwing quick against us, our defensive line has been a force. We've been getting pressures and sacks on the quarterback. Aiden Hutchinson is leading the league in sacks right now, and huh?
Single-handedly.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of that is because DJ Reader is out there on the line, and it frees Hutch up to make those plays.
That's a tough sell for me. That's the only thing that you could have possibly sold me on was, hey, Marcus Davenport did a good job while he did play, and he gave Hutch some leeway to make some of the plays. But Reader and McNeil, I feel like I still want more from them. You seem happy with them, which is cool. I'm not mad at you, but I feel
I'm definitely happy with them. I mean, yeah. and then you take into account they got 7 tackles, but DJ Reader didn't play the first 2 games.
That's cool, but they still 2 people that you have invested your defensive line into your defensive line, like your 2 starters essentially. So, I mean, availability is a trait as well. But going forward though, also Zach Frazier, he plays center for the Steelers. He was available. I would have loved him. It's no secret that our current all-pro center is battling injuries constantly. So having a great backup and a future replacement for Frank Ragnow would have been great. I would have loved Zach Frazier.
Yeah, but the guy who came in for him, what's his name? Zegway? Yeah, he came in. I mean, did he?
Owaske?
Yeah. I mean, why? I mean, he's not doing bad. So I mean, like the guys that you want to replace are not out there doing terrible. So like, I can see that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to make major changes for minor improvements.
Name what's the biggest play? Well, that's also that. I guess I should say. Well, no, we could say that. So if you go back to the San Francisco game, Josh Reynolds dropping that ball on 3rd down was probably the biggest play that happened that cost us that game. But if you want to go and look at other stuff, you could say that Jahmyr Gibbs fumbling that ball on the first possession that we got back to give it right back to San Francisco for them to tie it was huge. I mean, my argument is I don't know. It's hard for me to argue that we wouldn't have been there without Jahmyr Gibbs. Like I said, that's not to knock Jahmyr Gibbs. That's just to say that our team was that good that we could have, like, if Jahmyr Gibbs was out for the season, are you telling me we wouldn't have made the NFC Championship?
I don't think we would have.
Okay, I wouldn't say that. And then on the flip side, another huge play from that was the Brandon Ayuk bounces off the helmet to Ayuk, and I don't know if he scored or they scored on the next play. I can't remember. But the point is, we had Kendall Vildor out there. Now, and Cam Sutton was our best cornerback. So my point is, if you had Christian Gonzalez out there, would it have been different? If you had a legit corner, because we went through that whole year without having legit corners. Cam Sutton was our best corner, and people was mad at him the whole year because he was out there defending elite receivers.
Well, based on what happened last year, Christian Gonzalez got hurt 3 games into the season, so Kendall Vildor would have been out there anyway.
But would he have gotten hurt if he was on the Lions? I mean, you can't say that for sure.
I can't say he wouldn't have. So, I mean, what's your point? I couldn't say he would. All I know is he got hurt 3 games. What did happen is he got hurt 3 games into the season.
He did get hurt 3 games this season, but if he was on a better defense, would he have gotten hurt? I can't say.
Hey, that's the same thing I've been saying. What if Hendon Hooker played behind the number 1 offensive line in the thing? He could be the greatest quarterback of all time. We don't know. I'm just saying we could all play the woulda, shoulda, coulda, if game. What happened was he got hurt 3 games into the season. What we know is he got hurt 3 games into the season, and Vildor shoulda, coulda, woulda been out there anyway.
Yeah, I can't say that. But anyway, we spent $28.5 million on Davenport and DJ Reader, and there was other defensive ends out there that took less money or took the same amount of money that are given more production than DJ Reader is and Davenport. You know, Davenport is hurt, but you know, if Davenport was on the team, maybe he wouldn't have been hurt. So it would have worked out for everybody. But no, like Dorrance Armstrong, he got 3 years at $33 million to the Commanders. He's got 3 sacks. Leonard Floyd, 2 years at $20 million to the 49ers, 2 sacks. And Andrew Van Ginkel, 2 years, $20 million to the Vikings. He's got 3 sacks. So my whole point is you could have had Braden Fiske on that line. You could have Christian Gonzalez solidifying the secondary. And you could have had one of these free agents opposite of Hutch. And now, I mean, your point was that, you know, our defense isn't bad, so why tweak it? Which goes completely in the face of what you always say is, you know, don't be afraid to give up the good to get the great. And I feel like this would have been a pathway to greatness. But like you said, they are holding it down. They're doing fine. I'm not mad at the team or anything like that. But at the same time, this is the route that I would have preferred that they went down.
No, I'm saying that I don't see with the guys that you're proposing. I see that it could be a minor difference, but I don't see us becoming the number 1 defense with the guys that you're
that's kind of what I'm getting
at. Yeah. I don't think those guys put us at the number 1 defense at all.
Well, the guys we got now definitely don't put us as number 1 defense. Our first round draft pick corner, Terion Arnold, like I said, he's second in the league in penalties. So that's not going to put us in the path to the number 1 defense. Carlton Davis is doing a great job. I wouldn't want to get rid of Carlton Davis. If I had Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez back there, Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, I mean, that's an elite secondary right now on paper. That's an elite secondary.
But you're talking about Terion Arnold like he's been playing bad. The only knock against him is the penalties, and we 5 games in. I mean, I can see if he was out there getting burnt or he was out there making bad plays. I mean, and then you comparing a second year to a first year. I mean, I think Terion gets better as the season goes on. And I mean, we'll see what happens. Like I said, we 5 games in, man.
Yeah.
I don't
go ahead.
No. I mean, that's pretty much what I was saying. We 5 games in. Terion will get better. I mean, like I said, I don't see him. If he was playing like Okuda or something like that, then I'd be like, yeah, I would agree with you. Like, yeah, man, we need somebody better out there. But it's not like Terion hasn't been holding it down outside of the penalties.
Yeah, so where I disagree at is you say he's not out there getting burnt. From a technique perspective, no, he's not out there getting burnt. But as an end result, he's getting burnt. You know, if you go out there and you run stride for stride with your man, and then you get a pass interference call, that's a spot of the foul penalty. So yeah, he didn't make the catch, but the team is still getting the same amount of yards that he's getting if he would have got the catch, or if 15 yards, defensive holding, illegal contact, all of these things. He's giving up yards. His guy's just not making the catches. So that's my thing. I don't disagree that he's going to get better, but it's at this point now we're in the point of, well, how long is it going to take for him to get better?
I mean, it's 5 games in. He is a rookie, and I think
I also looked that up. I mean, not to cut you off, but I also looked that up because I want to be on your side, man. I want to see things the way you see them, but I couldn't help but look up. Where is Quinyon Mitchell? Quinyon Mitchell is far down that list of penalties. Where is Nate Wiggins? Nate Wiggins is far down that list of penalties. Not Carlton Davis. Terion Arnold is an overachiever in committing penalties in this league, and nobody is particularly close to him.
Well, we what do we say about Nate Wiggins? That the Lions picked Terion Arnold because he's a different type of corner. They wanted a more physical corner, and that's the reason they picked Terion Arnold, because the Lions play physical defense. Now, I wanted Nate Wiggins, but why didn't the Lions pick Nate Wiggins? Because he's not that physical corner that the Lions like to go out and pick up. Now, I mean, it may take him a minute because he is a physical player, and the coaches want him to play physical. But you know what I'm saying? It's just a fine line where he can't put his hands in the same places that he was putting them in college. And with him being, would you like him to, stay physical and kind of learn, where he can't put his things, or would you like him to back off and let the guy catch the ball? Which one would you rather have? Like a learning curve that can be adjusted, or just a straight up catch?
I mean, it's like splitting hairs, but for
me, I feel like the correction with the PI is, it's bad because you get those PIRs, but if you allow your receiver to catch you, then you got potential yak yards too.
If you are in position and your receiver makes a catch and you could have did a little bit more, okay, well, that's just a matter of getting a little bit better. But if you're constantly drawing penalties, that's just like a bad habit. Like a guy getting catches on you isn't really a bad habit. The league is set up for these receivers to have catches against these cornerbacks. So that's just
a guy getting catches on you means you're a bad corner. I mean, I don't understand. If a guy's constantly catching the ball on you, that's essentially all the receivers we've had in the past. Receivers getting catches on them.
No, what we've had in the past is you got a receiver that's 10 yards ahead of his defender. That's what we've had in the past, and he gone. He gone. That's what I don't want. That's what we've had in the past. If you told me that Terion is right there, he goes up for the ball and the receiver gets it, or the receiver is pushing off and the referee ain't calling it, and he's getting these catches, I could live with that. There's a whole bunch of ways that like if Justin Jefferson plays somebody, and you're gonna say, well, that's Justin Jefferson. But then there's Jamar Chase, and then there's gonna be CeeDee Lamb tomorrow, and then there was Cooper Kupp, who had like what do you have? Like 20-something targets and like 12 catches against the Lions in the first game? Like 12 catches. So it's like, are you telling me Carlton Davis and Terion Arnold was bad in that first game? Or it's Cooper Kupp? It's Justin Jefferson? The receivers are going to get open in this league. You, like, the days of shutdown corners, Sauce Gardner is about the last of a dying breed. Richard Sherman don't exist no more. That they've relegated that out the game. So Terion getting these penalties, it's like he might as well just give up the catch if he's going to get the penalty, because
I don't agree with that.
Well, I'm telling you, man, they talk about it on the broadcast all the time. Like, the more you get these penalties, the more these referees are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. They're going to look for it. They're going to start looking for it. And it might not even be a penalty for the next cornerback. But since you got this reputation, they throwing the flag every time on you.
It seems like they